Welcome to this audio press release, powered by IBM. This original production delivers market and sector insights, as well as executive interviews with innovative executives shaping the future in fast-moving industries, and may feature a client partner of IBM or one of the 75-plus investor-focused brands within IBM's dynamic brand portfolio. As a multifaceted financial news and publishing company, IBM leverages an extensive distribution network, utilizing multiple proprietary corporate communication tools to introduce both public and private companies to a vast and diverse audience of investors, consumers, influencers, journalists, and other targeted segments of the public. IBM may have received compensation to produce this audio content. Please be sure to read IBM's entire disclaimers for full disclosures. This article has been disseminated on behalf of Onco-Innovations Limited and may include a paid advertisement. Headline: Onco-Innovations Limited advances novel DNA repair strategy for next-generation cancer therapies. Cancer research is entering one of its most dynamic periods in decades. The class of drugs known as DNA damage response inhibitors, which work by blocking cancer cells' ability to repair their own damaged DNA, is expanding rapidly beyond its original anchor, the PARP inhibitor. DDRi therapies collectively represented an estimated $7+ billion in global sales in 2025, and the broader oncology, diagnostics, and precision medicine markets are projected to climb to roughly $750 billion by 2030. New inhibitor classes are emerging as the next major wave. Sitting at the forefront of this shift is Onco-Innovations Limited, a Canadian clinical-stage oncology company developing ONC010, a nanoparticle-encapsulated PNKP inhibitor that targets a DNA repair enzyme involved in multiple DNA repair pathways. As the field races to find the next generation of synthetic lethality assets, Onco-Innovations occupies a unique space as it strengthens its position in the biopharmaceutical and biotechnology sector, along with other leading companies such as AstraZeneca, Aprea Therapeutics Inc, Boundless Bio Inc, and Foghorn Therapeutics Inc, that are focused on developing therapies for serious diseases, particularly cancer. PARP inhibitors transformed oncology when they arrived in the clinic more than a decade ago, but they are only one entry point into a complex biological system. Onco-Innovations holds exclusive global rights to a foundational portfolio of PNKP inhibitor technology. The company's preclinical program has produced specific, measurable results that support the biological rationale for PNKP inhibition in solid tumors. Onco holds exclusive global rights across 3 distinct layers of protection, each reinforcing the others. DNA damage response moves beyond PARP. PARP inhibitors transformed oncology when they arrived in the clinic more than a decade ago. They exploited a concept called synthetic lethality. Cancers with certain DNA repair defects could be killed selectively by blocking a secondary repair pathway. The results were dramatic in BRCA-mutated cancers, and the class has grown into a multi-billion-dollar market. But PARP inhibitors are only one entry point into a complex biological system. The DNA damage response network encompasses dozens of proteins and pathways that cancer cells rely on to survive chemotherapy, radiation, and other stresses. Scientists have been systematically mapping this network for new drug targets. What was once a niche academic field is now drawing serious capital and clinical attention. For example, Artios Pharma raised a $115 million Series D round in November 2025 to fund mid-stage studies for experimental cancer drugs targeting DNA repair beyond PARP, one of the clearest signals yet that this sector has reached investable maturity. The clinical pipeline reinforces that message. In May 2026, Artios dosed the first patient in a randomized Phase 2 study of ART-6043, a DNA polymerase theta inhibitor in GBRCA-mutated HER2-negative breast cancer. This moved a non-PARP DDR target into mid-stage biomarker-defined development. That same month, MD Anderson reported Phase 1 proof-of-concept data for R0758981, a Werner helicase inhibitor, in microsatellite instability high cancers. These aren't incremental updates, they are proof that novel DDR mechanisms can generate clinical signals in real patients. Partner appetite for DDR assets is holding up, even through market volatility. Last year, Aprea Therapeutics licensed lunresertib to Biopharm for $10 million upfront and up to $257 million in milestones. Biopharm subsequently secured FDA Fast Track designation for a lunresertib combination in April 2026, turning a licensing deal into a regulatory milestone. The lesson for investors seems clear. Biomarker-defined DDR assets with a credible mechanism have the potential to attract partners and achieve regulatory recognition, even in a cautious funding environment. Polynucleotide kinase phosphatase is a DNA repair enzyme that operates across multiple repair pathways, including both single-strand and double-strand break repair. This breadth gives PNKP inhibitors a potentially wider therapeutic reach than PARP inhibitors, which primarily target single-strand break repair. PNKP inhibition has demonstrated preclinical activity in colorectal, lung, breast, prostate, ovarian, and hematologic cancers. As global PARP inhibitor revenue is projected to reach approximately $12 billion by 2030, PNKP inhibitors are emerging as one of the next major classes to capture market share within the growing DNA damage response segment. Onco-Innovations is the established leader for this novel DDR target. First mover position in an uncrowded class. Most races in oncology drug development are crowded. PARP inhibitors, PD-1 checkpoints, and CDK4/6 inhibitors all attracted dozens of competitors as their commercial potential became clear. PNKP inhibitors are different. The target has been understood in the academic literature for years, but the drug development community has been slow to follow. That delay created an opening that Onco-Innovations has moved right through. The company holds exclusive global rights to a foundational portfolio of PNKP inhibitor technology. This includes the core inhibitor molecules, the nanoparticle delivery science required to bring those molecules to tumors effectively, and the synthetic lethality applications that define how the therapy is intended to work. That combination of molecular, delivery, and application rights is rare in early oncology development. The competitive significance of this position grows with context. By the time a new DDR target gains broad industry recognition, patent landscapes tighten, valuations rise, and the first-mover window closes. Onco-Innovations entered the PNKP space while it was still open. The company's patents protect the PNKP inhibitor technology and the ONC010 program specifically. That protection spans the small molecule inhibitors, the delivery mechanism, and the clinical applications, giving the company a broad and durable competitive moat. The broader DDR market provides the commercial frame. According to the company, DDRi products exceeded $7 billion in global sales in 2025. The global oncology market is projected to approach $500 billion by 2032, representing growth of 131% over a 10-year period. Within that, PNKP inhibitors occupy a class that has no approved competitor and no dominant incumbent. The company is not trying to win share in a mature market. Rather, it is building the market. Preclinical proof points toward the clinic. One of the most important risk factors in early oncology investment is the gap between laboratory results and clinical reality. Onco-Innovations has been systematically narrowing that gap. Its preclinical program has produced specific, measurable results that support the biological rationale for PNKP inhibition in solid tumors. The headline finding from animal studies concerns survival in colorectal cancer. According to published preclinical data, the company's novel nanoparticle formulation, ONC010, extended median survival to 60 days in mice with PTEN deficient colorectal cancer, compared to 23 days in untreated animals. That is more than a doubling of survival time. The same studies showed meaningful tumor growth reduction compared to placebo, with a favorable toxicity profile. The absence of observed toxicity in animal models is particularly significant. Many DDR inhibitors have struggled with off-target effects that limit their clinical utility. Onco-Innovations' nanoparticle delivery system is specifically designed to address this problem. By combining the active pharmaceutical ingredient A83B4C63 with a polymer-based micellar carrier, the platform extends circulation time and promotes preferential accumulation in tumor tissue while limiting exposure to healthy cells. The company has been steadily advancing its chemistry, manufacturing, and controls program in parallel with its preclinical work. Onco-Innovations is conducting manufacturing scale-up and formulation development with Dalton Pharma Services and executing IND-enabling studies, including pharmacokinetic and biodistribution, with Nucrotechnics. Earlier this month, the company announced successful API process development and intermediate scale-up for its PNKP inhibitor technology. These are the kinds of manufacturing milestones that de-risk the path to a first-in-human trial. The company has also established a subsidiary in Australia to support planned Phase 1 development activities through the Therapeutic Goods Administration pathway. Activation activities for a first-in-human Phase 1 trial are anticipated for late 2026. The clinical strategy is supported by validated preclinical data, a regulatory roadmap, and the potential to pursue fast-track designation given the high unmet need in the target indications. An IP foundation built for exclusivity. Intellectual property is the bedrock of value in early-stage drug development. Without it, clinical success doesn't translate to commercial exclusivity. Onco-Innovations has built its IP portfolio with this reality in mind. The company holds exclusive global rights across 3 distinct layers of protection, each reinforcing the others. The first layer covers the core PNKP inhibitor molecules. These are the foundational drug candidates from which ONC010 and future programs are derived. The second layer covers the nanoparticle delivery science, or the polymer-based micellar carrier system that makes effective tumor-targeted delivery of the inhibitors possible. This delivery technology is not incidental. It is central to the program's ability to achieve efficacy without toxicity. The third layer covers synthetic lethality applications, which define how the therapy is paired with specific tumor biology to maximize selective cancer cell killing. Together, these patents protect the PNKP technology and ONC010 program comprehensively. The portfolio is structured to cover not only the current lead compound, but the underlying platform, which supports the company's stated goal of expanding its PNKP inhibitor technology across multiple cancer types. The company recently completed a project with Quano, using a quantum-based computational chemistry platform to deliver insights for PNKP inhibitor technology optimization, further strengthening the molecular foundation of the program. Causal AI accelerates precision trial design. Drug development is expensive and slow. The average oncology drug takes more than a decade and more than $1 billion to bring to market, and the majority of candidates that enter clinical trials fail. Artificial intelligence is increasingly being applied to reduce those odds, not by replacing biology, but by making it easier to identify the right patients, design the right trials, and interpret results more quickly. Onco-Innovations acquired Inca Health Corp in February 2025. Inca Health's Synograph platform prototype is a proprietary causal AI engine designed specifically for oncology applications. Unlike conventional machine learning, which identifies statistical correlations, causal AI is designed to reason about cause and effect, a distinction that matters enormously in clinical research, where the difference between association and causation can determine whether a drug appears to work or not. The Synograph platform is being developed to support patient stratification, clinical trial design, translational decision-making, and evidence generation. The proprietary platform prototype will integrate real-world data, clinical evidence, and molecular insights to support prediction of trial outcomes, treatment efficacy, safety, and adverse events. For a company advancing a first-in-human trial, the ability to identify the right patient population before a trial begins is not a luxury, but rather a significant reduction in clinical risk. Inca Health has announced collaborations involving AstraZeneca and GlaxoSmithKline focused on predictive modeling, real-world evidence, and AI-enabled oncology research. These are not small counterparties. In May 2026, the company announced initiation of a research collaboration within PromaI, further expanding the Synograph application base. The integration of Synograph into the ONC010 development program means the company can apply AI-driven patient stratification to its planned clinical studies. That approach has potential to reduce enrollment timelines, sharpen the signal in early efficacy data, and improve the likelihood of success. Precision trial design is becoming a competitive differentiator in oncology. Onco-Innovations is working to build that capability in-house. Progress builds across immunology, oncology. Recent developments across the biotechnology sector highlight continued momentum in the pursuit of innovative therapies for immune-mediated diseases, rare disorders, and cancer. Companies are advancing programs through regulatory milestones, clinical trial progress, and new scientific discoveries that seek to address significant unmet medical needs. AstraZeneca announced that Alexion, its rare diseases supplemental biologics license application for Ultomiris, or ravulizumab, has been accepted and granted priority review by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for the treatment of adults with immunoglobulin A nephropathy. According to the company, the approval was granted based on ICANN Phase 3 trial results from pre-specified interim analysis, in which Ultomiris demonstrated 43.4% reduction in proteinuria versus placebo at 34 weeks. If approved, Ultomiris would be the first C5 complement inhibitor available for this rare kidney disease. Aprea Therapeutics Inc. presented a poster at last month's American Society of Clinical Oncology 2026 annual meeting. The poster, titled Early Results from the First-in-Human Phase 1 Study of WEE1 Inhibitor APR 1051 in Patients with Advanced Solid Tumors. The presentation highlighted early clinical activity from ACESOT 1051, including partial responses and stable disease in patients across multiple tumor types. According to the announcement, manageable tolerability was confirmed across cohorts. The company noted that patient expansion into uterine serous carcinoma and platinum-resistant ovarian cancer is underway, with dose escalation and backfill expansion expected in 2027. Boundless Bio Inc. presented preclinical data supporting its lead-EC DNA-directed therapy, BBI-940, at the American Association for Cancer Research annual meeting. According to the announcement, Boundless has identified a novel kinesin target essential to ecDNA segregation and inheritance in cancer cells, but non-essential in healthy cells. BBI-940, a potentially first-in-class, oral and selective kinesin degrader, is currently being evaluated in the Phase 1 Komodo-1 trial in patients with advanced or metastatic ER plus HER2 breast cancer and TNBC-LAR. Foghorn Therapeutics Inc. presented new preclinical data for selective SMARCA2 inhibitor FHD909 at the AACR annual meeting. The data showed complete and durable tumor regression together with anti-tumor immune memory following combination treatment with an anti-PD-1 antibody in preclinical syngeneic mouse models. The company also reported new preclinical data for its selective CBP and selective EP300 degrader programs, demonstrating favorable efficacy and safety profiles across a range of difficult-to-treat cancers, in addition to progress with its selective ARID1B degrader program. As scientific understanding of disease mechanisms continues to deepen, the industry remains focused on translating laboratory discoveries into meaningful clinical outcomes. Advances in targeted therapies, novel drug development platforms, and biomarker-driven treatment strategies are helping reshape the future of healthcare. Collectively, these efforts reflect a broader commitment to improving patient outcomes through more precise, effective, and personalized approaches to treating cancer, autoimmune disorders, and other complex diseases. For more information, visit Onco-Innovations. This audio press release is an original content production powered by IBN, a multifaceted financial news and publishing company that delivers next-generation corporate communication solutions utilizing proprietary corporate communication tools such as news aggregation, syndication, social communication, and brand awareness techniques, among others. IBN introduces both public and private companies to diverse audiences to enhance reach and recognition. IBN may receive compensation for services and solutions provided to its client partners. The owners, officers, and directors of IBN or any of its financial analysts mentioned in this production do not hold positions in and do not intend to trade the securities of any IBN client partners companies. This production is not an offer or recommendation to buy or sell any securities that may be mentioned in this production. The information in this broadcast is presented solely for informative purposes and is not intended to be, or should it be construed as investment advice. As in all investments, investment in the featured companies carries inherent investment risk. Listeners should review the company thoroughly with registered investment advisor or registered stockbroker. This production by IBN is not purported to be a complete study of the featured company or other companies mentioned. Information used in statements of fact have been obtained from featured companies and other sources, but not verified nor guaranteed by IBN as to completeness and accuracy. Such information is subject to change without notice. Please read IBN's entire disclaimers and disclosures at ibn.ai. Thank you again for listening to this audio press release powered by IBN.